Are the depths of human solitude a testament to virtue, or merely a complex interplay of inner dynamics and external realities? This probing question challenges a comforting yet often misleading narrative, forcing us to look beyond simplistic correlations. Carl Jung, with his profound understanding of the human psyche, recognized that the experience of loneliness is multifaceted, rarely a direct consequence of moral rectitude. Society, often romanticizing the solitary genius or the misunderstood saint, can inadvertently perpetuate the myth that goodness inherently leads to isolation, thereby discouraging genuine self-reflection on the true causes of one's solitude. To embrace this comforting falsehood, to accept loneliness as an inevitable price of virtue, is a path that, while superficially validating, ultimately leads to a prolonged state of unexamined patterns and an inability to cultivate authentic connection. You may find yourself navigating periods of profound loneliness, perhaps even clinging to the idea that your integrity or unique perspective is the very reason for your isolation. This comforting but ultimately limiting belief can prevent you from exploring the deeper, often uncomfortable, truths within yourself that contribute to your solitude. This video is not a judgment on your character. It is an immersive journey into the psychological dynamics of loneliness, a practical manual to identify, interpret, and ultimately transcend the hidden principles that keep you isolated. Prepare yourself, for the wisdom you are about to receive promises a transformative unveiling of your own inner landscape and the true pathways to genuine connection. The first principle we must grasp, often obscured by self-pity or external narratives, is the principle of the unintegrated shadow of connection. This dictates that loneliness is frequently not due to a lack of external opportunities, but rather an unconscious resistance to genuine intimacy, often stemming from past hurts, fears of vulnerability, or a hidden belief that you are unworthy of deep connection. Your psyche, seeking to protect you from perceived future pain, sabotages opportunities for true closeness, pushing away the very thing it consciously desires. This is not a moral failing. It is a profound internal conflict, a self-imposed barrier to authentic relational engagement. This insidious principle connects intimately with Jung's concept of the personal shadow, comprised of all the qualities we deem unacceptable in ourselves, and thus repress. If our shadow holds fears of abandonment, betrayal, or rejection, it will subtly or overtly push others away to avoid those perceived threats. Consider the mythological figure of Echo, who, after being cursed to only repeat the last word she heard, gradually withdrew into herself, unable to truly connect. Her inability to initiate her own voice, and thus genuine interaction, symbolized an internal barrier to authentic self-expression, leading to a profound self-imposed isolation that had nothing to do with her goodness. In the contemporary landscape, this shadow principle manifests insidiously across various domains. In social settings, someone who longs for connection might subconsciously emit signals of unavailability, voiding eye contact, offering minimal responses, or retreating into their phone, thereby unconsciously deterring others. In online interactions, individuals might project an aura of superiority or self-sufficiency, pushing away those who might otherwise connect genuinely. Even in existing relationships, an unintegrated fear of vulnerability might lead to emotional distancing, preventing the deepening of bonds and fostering a pervasive sense of loneliness, despite being surrounded by others. To truly dismantle this barrier, Cultivate a rigorous awareness of your own subtle behaviors and internal narratives around connection. When you feel a pang of loneliness, consciously ask, am I, perhaps unconsciously, creating a barrier here? What fear am I trying to protect myself from? Begin by taking small, deliberate steps towards vulnerability, sharing a genuine feeling, initiating a conversation, or expressing a need. This disciplined practice of authentic engagement will begin to dismantle the shadow's protective walls, allowing for genuine connection to flourish. The second shadow principle, often creating immense confusion, is the principle of the idealized persona. This posits that we often present a carefully constructed, idealized version of ourselves to the world, believing that this perfect persona is what will attract others. However, this lack of authenticity creates a profound chasm between our true self and the image we project, leading to a loneliness rooted in the feeling that even when connected, we are not truly seen or loved for who we are. People are not lonely because they are good. They are lonely because their goodness is hidden behind an impenetrable, inauthentic mask. This principle directly relates to Jung's concept of the persona, the mask we wear for the world. While a necessary adaptation for social interaction, an over-identification with an ideal persona leads to the suppression of the authentic self, pushing genuine connection out of reach. Recall the tragic Shakespearean character of Hamlet, who, despite his noble intentions, donned a mad persona to navigate the treacherous court. While strategically useful, this mask ultimately isolated him from genuine understanding and intimacy, leading to a profound existential loneliness because no one could truly see his inner torment or authentic self. In modern society, this manifests with heartbreaking frequency. Social media profiles often portray an impossibly perfect life, leading to comparison and the feeling that one's own struggles are unique and isolating. Individuals in their professional lives might maintain a facade of unflappable competence, fearing that revealing any vulnerability would diminish their standing, thereby preventing authentic camaraderie. Even in intimate relationships, a constant need to appear strong or independent can prevent the very shared vulnerability that fosters true closeness, leaving both parties feeling alone despite their physical proximity. To overcome this painful illusion, begin by consciously stripping away layers of your idealized persona. Practice radical authenticity in small, safe settings, revealing aspects of your true self that you've previously kept hidden. Dare to express an unpopular opinion, admit a mistake, or share a genuine struggle. Seek out environments where vulnerability is celebrated, not judged. This conscious act of authentic self-revelation will attract those who resonate with your true being, leading to genuine, rather than superficial connection. The third shadow principle, often leading to prolonged suffering, is the principle of the unexamined expectations of reciprocity. This posits that we often enter relationships with unconscious, rigid expectations of how others should behave, how much they should give, or what role they should play in our lives. When these unspoken expectations are not met, we experience it as a profound disappointment or even a personal slight, leading to withdrawal and a reinforcing belief that others are somehow failing us, thereby perpetuating our loneliness. It is not their inherent badness that creates the solitude, but our inability to accept them as they are. This deep-seated principle is closely linked to Jung's concept of projection, where we cast our own unmet needs or idealized images onto others, expecting them to fulfill them. It also relates to the child archetype, which can carry unrealistic demands for unconditional giving. Consider the myth of Narcissus, who fell in love with his own reflection, unable to truly connect with another because his expectations of perfection could only be met by an idealized image of himself. His inability to see others as separate, flawed beings led to his ultimate isolation and demise, illustrating how rigid expectations of reciprocity can prevent genuine, imperfect connection. This manifests profoundly in contemporary life. Someone might become disillusioned with friendships because their friends don't anticipate their needs or offer support in the exact way they desire, rather than communicating those needs directly. In romantic relationships, an expectation that a partner should complete them can lead to profound loneliness when the partner inevitably falls short, revealing a dependency rather than a true partnership. Even in family dynamics, rigid ideas about familial duty can lead to resentment and isolation when relatives fail to meet uncommunicated benchmarks, fostering a sense of being misunderstood and alone. To liberate yourself from this restrictive pattern, consciously identify your unspoken expectations of others. When you feel disappointed or let down by someone, pause and ask, what was I expecting from this person, and was that expectation clearly communicated or even realistic? Practice communicating your needs directly and clearly, rather than assuming others will intuit them. Cultivate a radical acceptance of others as distinct individuals with their own capacities and limitations, allowing them the freedom to be themselves without imposing your ideal onto them. This conscious release of rigid expectations will open the space for genuine, imperfect, and ultimately more fulfilling connections. If you're finding this profound exploration of loneliness and its hidden dynamics to be insightful and believe this message resonates with your quest for deeper understanding of human connection, subscribe to the channel and enable notifications so you don't miss any content that will further empower your journey towards authentic connection. If you feel a persistent yearning to truly comprehend the dynamics of connection and isolation, to finally move beyond superficial interpretations of human behavior and embrace the transformative power of truth, know that this inner calling is not a fantasy. It's your authentic self preparing for a profound liberation, a reclaiming of inherent discernment, and a truly mature understanding of the human heart. There are potent principles and practices that can illuminate this path of autonomy and self-affirmation, empowering you to live with an unshakable clarity and a profound sense of purpose. In the pinned comment, we have made available resources that were carefully crafted for souls like yours, ready to experience their most profound personal revolution. We have begun to unveil the profound truths that underlie loneliness, moving beyond the comforting but misleading idea that it's a byproduct of goodness. You've seen how unintegrated shadows of connection, ideally said personas, and unexamined expectations can subtly sabotage your ability to connect. But these are merely the foundational insights. Now we delve into the more complex, yet equally vital principles that, once understood, unlock even deeper levels of personal freedom and relational wisdom, allowing you to truly overcome isolation. The coming insights are not for the faint of heart. They require a courageous willingness to look beyond conventional narratives of social success. The fourth shadow principle, often fueling prolonged emotional agony, is the principle of the unclaimed individuation. This posits that profound loneliness can arise when an individual is unconsciously undergoing a process of individuation, a journey towards becoming their unique, authentic self, but resists this call. Instead of embracing their distinctiveness, they try to force themselves into pre-existing social molds, leading to a feeling of alienation from both others and themselves. It is not that they are too good for others, but that their evolving self has outgrown current connections, and they are resisting the painful, but necessary, process of seeking new, more aligned ones. This perspective challenges the societal pressure for constant social integration, suggesting that periods of solitude can be essential for growth. It is intimately tied to Jung's concept of individuation, the process by which a person becomes a psychological individual, a separate, indivisible unity or whole. When an individual's unique path diverges significantly from their social environment, a period of isolation can arise, not as a punishment, but as a necessary space for integration. Consider the archetype of the hermit, or the wise old man, woman who retreats from society to find deeper wisdom, often returning with profound insights that benefit the community. Their temporary isolation was not loneliness, but a purposeful withdrawal for a higher form of integration. This profound principle plays out in myriad ways in contemporary life, often unnoticed. Someone undergoing a significant spiritual awakening might find their old friendships no longer resonate, leading to a painful sense of isolation if they cling to the past rather than embracing new connections. An artist whose creative vision surpasses current trends might struggle to find their tribe, feeling alone until they find a community that appreciates their unique expression. Even in career paths, someone who is truly innovative might feel misunderstood and isolated within a conventional corporate structure, signaling a call to carve out their own unique professional niche, to embrace the principle of the unclaimed. Individuation, cultivate a profound reverence for your own unique path and distinctiveness. When you feel lonely, pause and ask, is this loneliness a signal that I am trying to force myself into a mold that no longer fits? Am I resisting my own unique evolution? Begin to consciously explore and express the aspects of yourself that feel truly unique and authentic, even if they initially separate you from others. Seek out new communities or individuals who resonate with your evolving self, rather than trying to fit into old patterns. This courageous embracing of your own individuation will attract genuine connection based on authenticity, not conformity. Finally, we encounter the most profound and often the most transformative shadow principle, the principle of the unexamined need for soul connection. This posits that true loneliness is often not about a lack of people, but a profound yearning for connection at the soul level, a depth of understanding, shared purpose, or spiritual intimacy that is rarely found in superficial interactions. When this deeper need is unexamined or unacknowledged, we may fill our lives with numerous but ultimately unsatisfying relationships, leading to a pervasive sense of emptiness despite social engagement. It is not that people are lonely because they are too good for others. It's that they are longing for a different kind of connection, a connection of the soul to fully integrate the principle of the unexamined need for soul connection. Cultivate radical honesty about the kind of connection you truly yearn for. Instead of simply seeking more people, focus on cultivating depth in existing relationships or actively seeking out new connections based on shared values, profound interests, or spiritual alignment. Practice deep listening, not just to others, but to the whispers of your own soul's longing. Be willing to be vulnerable and share your deepest self with those who feel safe and receptive. This conscious pursuit of authentic, soul-level connection, rather than superficial social interaction, will gradually dissolve the pervasive sense of loneliness, leading to profound fulfillment. We have embarked on an arduous, yet ultimately liberating, journey confronting the profound truths that underlie loneliness, moving beyond the comforting but misleading idea that it is a direct consequence of goodness. From the unintegrated shadow of connection to the profound yearning for soul connection, each principle, once illuminated and integrated, liberates immense emotional energy and deepens your capacity for genuine relationship. Together, these insights form a comprehensive framework, empowering you to not merely cope with loneliness, but to truly understand its roots and cultivate a life rich with authentic, meaningful connections. This integration of self-awareness and courageous action is the very essence of genuine relational wisdom. In the comments below, share which of these 5 principles of loneliness resonates most deeply with your own experience, and what small step you plan to take to begin addressing it. If this deep exploration of loneliness and the profound journey of genuine connection speaks to your soul, subscribe to the channel to continue unlocking the intricate secrets of the human heart and cultivating a more profound understanding of belonging. Your like is a powerful affirmation that this knowledge holds true value, and a clear signal that this journey of authentic connection is one worth continuing together.